Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Tuesday, November the 8th. And just starting with the S&P here to give you a little bit of timing and guidance on what's happening here is that, of course, we need to prove this, but from the low here of wave 1, we're looking for an A and a B and 5 waves up here for wave C of 2. And then we're counting down as 5 waves here for wave 1, and then an A and a B and a C for looking for wave 2. Now, so that brings us in on as a CFD product here, brings us in around the 38.30 sort of area. So kind of expecting a turn and then starting to work lower from that point as such, and coming right down, but it's never in a straight line, of course, so don't get too excited. So yeah, we have to prove this. So we need to top and then we need to turn down. So it's possible that there's a top here. Now, with the Australia market, which is governed pretty much by the banks, they are also turning, softening and turning at this point as well. So we could have a turning point coming here. But like I say, we need to prove it. Do you know what I mean? We need some evidence of that. So I can see that the US banks have got, if I can just drag Goldman's across here for a second. So I can see with Goldman's here with as 1, 2, and 3, and 4 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need a 5th wave here. So I can see that needs to finish off in the next session. I could easily extend this out here, but because wave 3 here is a little bit short here compared to wave 1 here. That means that wave 5 here needs to be a bit shorter, those sort of things. So it may not be the case, but it is a point where we need to be careful that this will be a top for, we've got CBA kind of making new highs, and we need to find a top there as well, So it's just something we need to go through that we can, and then maybe not today, but the next session will possibly top. The other point is obviously the Americans have got the midterms this week. I don't know when all the results start to flow and all the rest of it, but they've also on Thursday we've got CPI figures and jobless claims, and it's all about the inflation, and they want to pin that to jobs. Well, that's their thing. So everybody's going to be dancing off that shadow of those numbers. This week we could see a bit of a turnabout, and it's not like this from this low here, it's not like we've got a nice impulse wave to the upside. It looks corrective, on the S&P. So anyway, we've got to be a bit careful. The S&P's turned down. The Australian market is still a bit chirpy and been pushing to the upside here, but looking at the same sort of count here, like looking at an A wave and a B wave and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, bit hard to read, but same thing here. We've got the A wave over here, the B wave here, 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So slightly different. We could have a top in play here, so that could be wave 5 top there. I should really put that as wave 5 there. And it's possible to have wave 5 here, and have this in here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. But I do have this nice wave 4 here now in 3 waves. So we've got this. So I'll continue to go up here. But all we really need to do is, and also too, when you're getting into a big number like this, the classic trading levels thing, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then either a top or an ABC pattern, and then we would go further up at that point, So we'll see if we go further up. But all I'm saying is at the 7,000, we're not going to go very far anyway, so don't do anything drastic at this point. Looking for one more little push up. I kind of expect it to go above here really, but we do have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so we'll just see how that goes. So a bit toppy in this space. Good, there's a good reason for that for the ASX. Now with the with the banks, this is CBA here, and going from wave on 100 ticks, so going from wave B to wave C here, excuse me, I just counted up as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Actually, I'm not that happy with this particular count here for this. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about this count too much. I'll just go and have a look at, see how the other banks are doing. Just bear with me a second. Let's just get this into the frame. And this is why we're here. This is just the 10-year yields, 2-year government yields here for the Australian. So yeah, look, was Tuesday. Is Melbourne Cup today? I can't remember. I'm just so out of tune. I'll have to watch more news. Yeah, look, it could be interest rate today, isn't it? Not sure. Let me check. Well, we've had the Melbourne Cup. How's that? 1st of November. That's how tuned in I am. It looks like the RBA will meet again on the 6th of December. So nothing we have to worry about at the moment, but they will probably put up rates. I think they're close to 2.85%, aren't they? Anyway, the yields here can still push up into wave 5 higher here for this. Yeah, just this little 5-way structure here is just a little bit small to bring this wave 5 down on top of that one, you know, from that one. So I'll just give it a bit of space. But yeah, I can see. I mean, they're all synchronizing around the, you know, in the Western world, aren't they? So they'll all end up at 5%, and they will hold them at that point while we have a big correction here. They'll ease them or whatever. And then they'll realise that they're not high enough. I mean, you know, they've got to hold interest rates above, you know, above their inflation rate, not just their headline rate, but whatever the real rate is on their side. So it's just not finished yet. Yes, let's just get that back again. Lost the plot. So we're looking at banks, won't we? That's right. So let's just start from the bottom here, the Bank of Queensland. So the Bank of Queensland didn't really we've started counting up as 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and it still could be wave 4 here, but it came a little bit deep and gave us 5 waves down, so there'll be a bounce there. So I won't really look at that. The NAB, so the NAB's coming off here because we're kind of thinking 1 and 2, and we can see of 1, 2, probably 3, 4, 5, and here 4. So we're close to the top, you know. I mean, it's coming down on lower volume, so I'll just see how that sort of plays out. But we could certainly have a top in there. I should be checking. Well, that's a clear sort of move down yesterday in Bendigo, but it's bit of a small bank. WBC, well, there's there's a nice move down, isn't it? That really solidifies that top being in play there now. So I just want to go to, while we're looking at the banks, I just want to go to the XXJ and have a look at that. So we're also looking for a top here the other day as well. So that was 7,200 here. I don't mean short it like that there as such. I mean, we need to get a retest of that level. So if I just go to the 15-minute chart, let's just have a little, see if we can see inside of this. Okay, so that's the top. Well, I mean, that looks like some sort of wave 1, which I'll just take to this point, and 2 here, but I could take it to here as well, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. But that's basic. That's nice and strong. So that's like a third wave here. I could extend it out to this point. I could go 1, 2, 3. I could do all of that as the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave, or I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, back for 2. Yeah, it looks like 5 waves down. So what we're going to see, because I was going to say, you just don't short something when it pops through like this. You wait for the retest, you know. So I think that what we'll have here, I'll have to do a little, you know, work out all the little nooks and crannies in there. But basically, we should see not that. We should see some sort of corrective move here. Now, it may be just correcting this little leg here and go further down, or we need to correct that whole leg there. But in one way or another, it does appear that we are getting 5 waves in the opposite direction of the trend. So that means that we can have a top in play here. Now, this is a dance across 7,200. So it's doing all the normal things in a bullish market: the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a corrective pattern, and then continuing to the upside. So we'll keep a bit of an eye on that. We won't call it in long or short just yet. I want to have a look at the XMJ while we're here, and I'll just go to the daily chart so it reminds me what I was actually looking at before the materials sector. So yeah, the thing here was that the banks had the same picture as this low here, but the banks had taken out this high up here, so we could have gone with the banks. If we just have a look at that XXJ for a moment, this picture here, that we had this as the A, the B and the C, and the banks are running higher here, but now they've topped out, and the XMJ, the materials sector, it's lagging. We've got that impulse wave there, and then we've got this corrective move, so we're looking for another move to come up and take that high out or thereabouts, but it was all a bit sort of sluggish. I could see we got 1 and 2 in here and 3 here, and then we've just had this massive 4th wave in here, but we could notice the other day that it started to move off here. So I think that's 1 and 2 in here for that. So that would be 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 here, and this will be a 3rd wave that's probably not finished. So the materials sector's got that to go. So the move up that we're seeing in BHP, RIO, FMG and all the rest of it, and US gold, is moving up based on the US dollar index moving down. So I don't think this has got all of these rallies that we're looking at with the material sectors and gold and that. I don't think, I mean, they're going to go higher, but they're going to come down after that. That's what I'm thinking. That's what gold is telling us anyway. So we'll have a look at those. So remember this pattern here for that. So anyway, they're the banks. So let's just go and have a look at, okay, so with BHP here, I just want to have a look at the ADR for this. Yeah, so same thing here. So basically this is, see this move here, it's corrective. It's got overlapping wave structures, so it's corrective, and it's not likely to be wave 1 here and wave 2 over here because it's just too big. So it's part of a corrective move as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go up here, and then we're coming down. So that's how all of these other markets are going to be as well. So BHP here, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, we're going up into the 3rd wave, there'll be a 4th and 5th, and then we should come down at that point. Now, if we're wrong, then all we need to do is count the 5 waves up here. We've got wave 1 and 2 here, so we're in the 3rd wave here somewhere. So all we need to do is go long above here, or we could improve on that as this comes down as the A, the B and the C wave coming back here. Then we can bring that down and go long at that point, you know. But otherwise we come down here for that. So you can be long and stay long here, but it will be for probably 5 days or so, probably more actually. Yeah, maybe a week or maybe 2 weeks. We've got 3 days here, so that should give us at least 4 days here, and then a couple in the correction here at least, maybe 3, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. So yeah, we'll be going up there for a while. Gold will be doing the same, and the other markets will be doing the same as well. So with Rio here, even though I encounter low in here, it's a rather big wave 2 back here and quite deep, so we'll be careful about that. But we'll just we'll count 5 waves up here. Okay, so when we get up to the 100, I mean, if we get a nice tested support on top of 100, we'll go long, and we'll do the same thing as well. We can go long above those 5 waves here. I won't draw it in here, and this will be the same as FMG. We can have a low in here, but we haven't made a low over here. Do you know what I mean? That's my thing. So I'm thinking we've got something. I need to bring wave 4 across over here, bring wave 5 down over here for that. And if I'm wrong, well, then we'll just go long above these tops here. Because in the bigger picture of this monthly, we're not down where we need to be at this point, you know. We're not quite down to where we want to. We want to take that low out. We want to be down here a bit further, you know. Okay, lithium. So so what we want with lithium, it's going to have resistance at 72, roughly speaking, and we've got 70 here, so it's going to jam itself in here. But we're looking for it to, you know, have a top. It might push up again here, and then have a correction here. But, you know, I mean, as an ETF here, it's the whole thing's looking more positive than it was before, you know. So yeah, so that's good. Yeah, there's a lot of basing here. It looks very positive, so that's all good. We can have a quick look at lithium stocks. I won't spend too much time on them, but just do it very quickly. So we've got a couple of US ones here. So SQM code up here. We want that support. We want support on 100. I think it's pretty safe to buy under that, but you know, if you bought back here, that's fine. But otherwise, we need to buy on top there. ALB, the same thing as well. You could buy before the level and pick up a small parcel, but generally we want to be, I've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC correction. That's the way we want to go to the upside. The arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC, we want to be over here for that, if you want to say. So that's basically being over this side over here. So there's a long way to go, but it's not going to hurt here because, you know, something weird may happen and just keep going straight up, you know. But because it stayed here, it should play. The pattern should play out. LAC here. So yeah, we're buying. We'll treat. We've got support on 30 now. We've done all the right things here. So we'll just, you know, it may come back and test it again. That's okay. But we'll see how that plays out to the upside. And PLL, I liked this one here. So kind of looks like this has got the fourth wave in here now, and then the fifth wave here. So we'll get an ABC pattern back here. So we could buy the pullback in this one, in terms of looking at it in this way and looking at the 50-60%. So it's going to be in here, just roughly speaking. So what we'll look for here is some sort of, it'll come to the lows here and bounce and then test again here and then go at that point, you know. But this one's slow, but it'll be all right, you know, because we've got this as a corrective pattern here. So it should take out that top based on that impulse wave here. So yeah. ACDC, yeah, so look, it's just going to fluff around on the 90 for a while and then move up, so all that's good there. CXO will probably do the same and push up. We could wait for support, a classic trading levels pattern, or you could buy some before and after, but buying it before the levels risk, you know, especially if the whole market turns down, you know, the stock market turns down, it will have an impact on some, you know, on some stocks. But the energy sector and green metals, especially lithium, is pretty good to go. Looking for support on 2, but yeah, such a good pattern here. You can buy anywhere with this. PLS here. So yes, is it going to let go of that yet or not? There might be more to this. It's moving. All of this here is sort of moved up a little bit, but it's on lower volume, so there's no buyers coming in here yet for that. So more time's required. AKE here needs to take that top out here for us to be interested in it above that 15 there. IGO here. Yeah, it does look like a wave 2 pullback here. So this would be a long-term hold, this one. So I can, because I've obviously been looking at it a bit. So yeah, longer term hold here for that one, and the same with Min as well. I think we're just going to buy some here and buy some above the level when it comes. This one's down a bit here. I can't. Oh, the volume's in the right place for this. You see how the volume, how the market's moved down. The volume's increasing, decreased here, roughly speaking, and then sort of popped up here. And now this is moving down over the last 2 days. You've got lower volume. So basically, it's basically, you know, we're seeing volume increase to the upside and corrections volume lower. So it's pulsing in the right direction, you know. I mean, obviously 1 is the strongest number, and that will be the point that you would need to have as support to be safe. And it'll take a lot of flicking around here, but having a small position somewhere down here is not going to be painful, you know. This one here, we're looking for a break above that top there. That hasn't come yet. GLE, not too sure about that one. Don't really have a nice 5 waves up here, so they could drift lower. And that's that for the time being for those lithium stocks. And then we're going to head over to gold, I think. So with gold here, as I just explained with the materials sector, and BHP and those, we're going to experience the same for gold as well, and that means gold stocks. And this has really got to do, from what I can see, has got to do with the US dollar. So we're going to push somewhere up around close to these highs here. This is a daily chart. So yeah, so it's got further upside to come, and then we come down for our last hooray at this point. And then that will also, once we get to this low here, that will create a high in the US dollar at that point, and then we see things turn at that point. So we're on 10k here. I think that we were looking at that chart. So kind of talked about this in different ways, but I'm sort of settling on this now. So we've got the A wave here, the A, B and C here, or I could just go WXY here, or I could put this B wave over here. It doesn't really matter. We're going to look at it as a flat correction, so a 3, 3, 5 correction here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's possible to have a top in here, a top right here for the, just in here somewhere based on those 5 waves up here. But I'm going to call them in as wave 1 because I can see that the markets have got more to go, and then wave 3 will probably be a bit shorter than wave 1, and then we'll have wave 5, and that will bring us in up here somewhere. So I'll just keep an eye on that. And this will, you'll see gold stocks do the same as well. So with gold stocks here, slightly different, but we're going to look for wave 3, 4 and 5 coming up here for this, and this will be coming up to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here. So that's that. And if I'm wrong here and there's going to be a bullish market, well, you can go long here now if you want. There's nothing wrong with this trade, but yeah, would have to exit just before these highs here, just above the $19. And yeah, and one day if this becomes the support here, then then we'll move in on that, you know. So yeah, I mean, I do have some of these shares myself, but yeah, but I'm not, yeah, it's all good anyway. But yeah, so we've got, I feel like we've got one more move down, but we'll see how this goes. So that means while this is pushing up here, the US dollar will be pushing down. So the Australian dollar, that's also in the same pattern here, slightly different, but yeah, I think this can push up further. I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to call anything in here. We're going to look at this as wave 3 here, and then the A, the B, and the C wave here. And in this case, we can look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. But I think we're going to end up pushing up a little bit further up here, to be honest. So I think we need to be up here for this. Yeah, so I'll have to pull this apart here. So I think that we're going up higher. So I'll just... it'll be something, I'll have to check. I'll have to pull that apart here. I haven't pulled it all apart just to double check. You know, it looks like 1 2 1 2, but then again it's 1 2. Going to put that all into 1 2 here, 3 4 5. I'll have to pull that apart and check on it. But yeah, we might end up here with this a little bit further, and have to look at this as 1 and 2 here, something like that. But it's not going to go very far from this here either. Do you know what I mean? So just be a bit careful about what you do here with this. Let me just have a look at the US dollar index while we're here. US dollar index. Now the thing, apart from all of the waffle that we've got over there, forget that for a moment. But this move down through here has seen commodities move up, right? So what we're going to see here is some sort of correction, and then down again. So we're going to see 1 2 3 down. Now we could just get a C wave down, but I'm thinking we're going to get 4 and 5 here. So that's why gold is going to push up, and those will push up, you know. But once that's finished, then we're going to be pushing up here for that. I think that's the pattern that we're looking for. The pattern that we're looking for in the markets. It could be a little bit differently than this. I mean, this could also just be wave 1 over here, but I think this is good. I think this is about the right timing for things. So I'm going to take that A wave away from there. I'm going to look at an A and a B and a C wave here for the A wave, and that will be there. That's all good. Okay, I just need to label this a little bit differently, but that will be up there. And yeah, label all that a bit differently. I have to work in this degree of structure, but I've got to fit all that in. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.